Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. Happy Wednesday. Big day in the market. We got our GDP data in. No recession, as I thought, with estimates coming in around 3%. It came in right at 3%. Now, on top of that, we've got the federal interest rate decision at 2 p.m. today. We'll see what happens there. My guess? Not a whole lot. But look at Marvel. Up over 10% right now just because of initiatives from Microsoft. It is helping develop its Maya 300 chip. This is big news and gives a great revenue opportunity. Some estimates are up to $10 to $12 billion on this deal alone coming in 2027. I was looking at Marvel's current revenue. Right now it's around $6 billion. So you can see this is a huge opportunity to leapfrog the semiconductor company to even further highs. So it's a nice presentation. We're going to look at Marvel, but we're going to take a look at the top 10 semiconductor manufacturing stocks in the VectorVest 7 system. See if there's any other opportunities presenting themselves based off all the momentum that we're seeing in semiconductors like AMD, Taiwan Semi. Now with Marvel in the list bringing 10% gains in one day, a lot of attention are on these stocks and a lot of opportunities are presenting themselves. So let's go ahead and jump into VectorVest 7 software, take a look at the top 10 semiconductor manufacturing stocks out there that can help bring significant profits into your portfolio in the upcoming years. All right, big event coming up. We got the Las Vegas 2-day investment seminar coming September 20th, 21st, 2025. You can achieve the VIP experience in person. Just go to vectorvest.com/Vegas to register now. All right, you can see with the top 10 stocks, big names on this list. A lot of these companies we're already familiar with: NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, Taiwan Semiconductor. The stocks closer to the bottom of the list, that's the stocks we're going to focus on today from about alab down. Now, as we can see with the space in general, look, they're all in positive territory today. That's why I want to put this on your radar. Momentum continues to climb. Next week, we've got AMD earnings that can bring more optimism to the space. And then later in August, we've got NVIDIA's earnings, which typically brings a lot of momentum to the space. But not only is there momentum here, look at the fundamentals. Most of these stocks have very favorable fundamentals, buy recommendations across the board. Now, if I scroll over to the right, this is exactly why investors are willing to pay a premium for most of these stocks here. Look at the earnings and sales growth rate. Double digits across the board. Only one company has a growth rate less than a double-digit number. That's going to be Enlight with an earnings growth rate of just 3%. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these stocks here. We're going to take a look at alab, Rambus, Marvel, of course, again, up almost 10% right now. SMTC, we'll take a look at Micron as well as Laser. I'm not going to do these four today just because I take a look at these just about every week. So let's go ahead and take a look at these 6 stocks and see if there's any other opportunities rather than just the big players. All right, first stock on the list, I'm already liking what I see. You can see the momentum here, price action candlesticks well above the 20-day EMA. You can see the opportunities come in around the pivots, right around that 20-day EMA. But this is why I like it. Look at the turnaround story. The earnings per share on the rise, but look at the growth rate in earnings. It was negative. Actually, it was negative, negative 6%. Sales growth rate, negative 9%. The company's turning it around right now. Positive numbers in both categories. And with rising earnings, momentum amongst the bulls, buy recommendation. Great stock to have on your radar. Astera Labs is next. Nice lower left, upper right price action. Strong buy rating. Our buy rating actually came in when the stock was around $80, currently trading at $128, just hit a new high. Momentum is there. This is my support level around $109. It's about $100 if the stock does pull back. You can see the 20-day EMA right at the upper end of that support zone. But look, rising earnings growth rate 52% and sales growth rate 144%. RMBS having 2 monster days in a row, trading at session highs right now. Strong buy rating once again. You can see the pivots here right at the 20-day EMAs. Those are the opportunities right now. It's a little overextended, so I'm not going to say go ahead and jump in or try to chase this position. If you do, maybe put in Star Search 3 and 8, something a little bit tighter to capture that momentum. But look, rising earnings, lower left, upper right, rising growth rate, rising sales growth rate. Now, this is the reason for today's story. We got Marvel Tech. We see the big gap up. Upper wick, not a lot of follow through here. So definitely not going to say jump in today on this position. See if we get any follow through in the future. But we did take out the prior swing high. So that does give me some optimism for the future. Nice strong buy rating. Earnings per share, a little bit of a turnaround story here as well. continuing to hit new highs as of recently. The earnings per share around 272, growth rate in earnings 18%, and with a healthy sales growth rate outpacing earnings at 63%. And the forecasted data moving from lower left, upper right, everything I like to see here. Now, if there's any kind of pullback or any kind of pivot to look for, I'm going to go right off that prior swing high here, somewhere in this zone, probably around 80 bucks. You know, it might potentially close the gap, see if there's any pivot after we close the gap. But right now with that upper weight, I'm not going to say pull the trigger on Marvel at this time. Now, the next stock we have is SMTC. This is Semtech Corp. Again, lower left, upper right, strong buy rating, carrying that momentum well above the 20-day EMA. Earnings per share, pretty stagnant over the last 6 months. Still comes in at $1.49. Growth rate in earnings, 36%. Sales growth rate, 22%. Still a great company to have on your radar. All right, and the last stock this evening is going to be Micron. We see the dip from the prior high here around 127, level resistance right around then. Broke my level of support, but look, we're coming right on that, retesting it. So if we get much of a rejection right at this resistance and the 20-day EMA, I'd get more defensive, especially if you're still holding this position. Now, if you're looking for buying opportunities and some confirmation, let's get above that 20-day EMA, and let's get price action above 117. That's $4 away. I like that confirmation level. Fresh buy rating today, so that's giving some optimism for the bulls here. And we do have a little bit of a trend line. If I take a look here, we have a descending trend line here from these prior swing highs. And we're going to be approaching that level. So again, if we can break that downward trend line and this resistance level, a lot of obstacles in the way of this position in the near future. So if we can break above that, there could be a lot of built up momentum released once price action breaks above around this 117 zone. But the forecasted data, look, EPS, earnings growth rate, lower left, upper right, stair-step fashion. I like what I see. The forecasted data, 38%, 37%. Just about every one of these stocks had great forecasted data, and I can see exactly why investors are willing to pay a premium. And actually, this stock right here is probably going to be your best value of all of these stocks here. Look, we got valuation on the rise. Stock is currently undervalued. So if you're looking for a value play, Micron would be the one I'd choose. Now, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's presentation, enjoyed the stocks I gave you for this evening and the analysis. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and you found it informative, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow evening.